So if you folks have the agenda, you see three presenters. He is going to be doing all of the one presenter base. So actually, I think you should be here. Please state your name clearly. Yeah, ready.
There is no mic.
Yeah, well, right there.
Hello everybody, before McCartney starts his presentation, just for the board, we just want to extend our biggest aloha to our community that came out tonight to keep this mahalo.
I would like to say first aloha to the board and to all of you from the community. My name is McCartney. I come from Kahamu, Popo, and I was born and raised there. And I work for David Ige, the governor, and my job is chief of staff. And so why I came here today was to connect with all of you, to thank many people for helping the connection happen. First, I'd like to thank Buffalo and Aunty Momi. How it happened, a lot of people called me and said the noeau was sore. And so we knew something wasn't right. And so I just want to thank you and say mahalo from the bottom of your heart for opening your house, bringing us all together. And that's where we got to meet James and Twinkles. And we talked story. And we held hands. And we hope for a better future. And what was said there, I think was repeated many, many times. But the governor said that there's not going to be any sweeps because that's not what we do. And I came here to ask for permission to, how can we help our people find a home and a good life and take care of our aina and our land at the same time? And how do we find the balance on the width of a blade of pili grass, the razor's edge, and do that together? And I know the only way we can do it together, the governor knows, is together, not separate. And so also, please forgive anything that was said before by us because that wasn't our intent. And if it got misunderstood, I take responsibility for that because I could have trained our people or set them right earlier, and I didn't. And forgive me for that because it was never meant to be hurtful or to make people scared. We want to work together, so that's why I'm here, and we want to ask permission if we can work with you, because the path forward is not us coming up with the idea on our own. We just want to help. We know that the idea and the power is in this room, and out there, all out there. So I came to listen, to learn, and to understand, and I'd be honored to just listen to all of you tonight, and to hear what you have to say, and then take the next step, and next step. And so on behalf of my friend and the governor, we just say aloha and mahalo, and we ask permission to start working with this community. Mahalo.
Okay, so we usually go to the board, for questions and all. I know we do have questions, I do. So one of it is, and maybe you don't know all that was said at our last board meeting, but what has changed, right, from then to now, and what does it mean? Is there a timeline as a governing body of the property? What's the plan? Is that all still?
There's no timeline, because we need to work together. Timelines create false expectations. There's no timeline, but we need to figure out how do we work together. How do we protect the land? And how do we put families into homes? And we want to work together to do that.
So I'm going to open it up. Get one question from the board right now because I want to make sure we get to everybody else, especially who this directly impacts in the short term. But there is also the second issue, right?
And may I say something too? I didn't come here to negotiate because I don't think that's our intention. Our intention is to collaborate. And when you collaborate, you help each other solve each other's problems. And so I think it's going to take time for us to share our obstacles that we have, obstacles that you have, and how do we find a common path together. But if we're negotiating, we're going to misinterpret each other, and that's not our intent. So I really hesitate to try to answer a lot of questions because we want to work together so we can answer them together. So even timeline, we got to talk together and see what do we do, because we know the problem is just bigger what the media defines it or what's being defined out there by other people. You know it better than anyone. So you can help us with the timeline more than anyone else. So
I think the questions will help us to figure out how do we fit in collaborating and partnering moving forward.
and we don't know too, right? So we want to ask you, so how can we fit together?
Okay, so, if you folks cannot hear, we'll try our best to project more, but just go like this and, okay?
So I'm sorry, but I just wanted to clarify because I didn't want to create a false expectation out there either. Yeah.
Right.
I know.
But like what you're saying, to me, there's two layers, right? Directly with the Pu'uhonoua, and then also moving forward as a community space, what happens then as well, right? But we address the Pu'uhonoua first because it is the immediacy. Right now, I'm going to open up to the board. If you have relevant and impactful questions that could provoke and initiate conversation and solutions, please bring those forward, okay? So, I think we'll give you a time right now as well. Mr. Palugi.
So I'd like to follow for joining us. Community. I was wondering, and I think the board as well as our community was wondering, why wasn't Scott and Pu's intense agenda? I mean, they had more than enough time to put it on the agenda, and not to peel off old scabs, but we just wanted to know why is this probably didn't need to happen if they would have agended the presentation at the last meeting.
How should I address the questions? Should I just have this conversation with everyone?
You guys get project because nobody can hear.
You can address me, and then whoever has a mic and can hear as much as possible, please project out, because it is a big room. So maybe if you just kind of like stay over there, then you bring it to your biggest.
I'll go just, it's okay if I still.
Yeah.
Okay. Your question was about how come what happened in the past? I feel I didn't prepare them enough for working with the community. So I take that responsibility, and that's why I come here. Because I don't think that's the way to do it, and that was never their intent, never the governor's intent. And today I want to ask, can we shift? Can I go back? So ask for forgiveness for that. And can we move forward? Because I cannot change that, and I take responsibility for that. And that's what I'm asking. Is that can we just move forward? It's not their fault, it's my fault. And I could have done a better job of explaining what community dynamics is. And I'm not saying even I know, but and I think that their intentions are very good. And I think we learned a lot by talking to people like Uncle Buffalo, who explain how people feel and how people perceive what we're saying, which we don't mean, but it comes across a different way. So we learned that there's miscommunication and then misunderstanding, and then people start taking actions and reactions. And today I hope we can stop doing that, and we can stop talking to each other and with each other instead of at each other, because it's not a tool to talk on media or electronic face-to-face. It's going to be important for all of us. And so that's what I ask for. Is that, and it's not because it's the media's fault, it's our fault that we have to do a better job of doing that, and that's why I'm here. So please do not, Scott is great and Pu'u is great, and they meant very well. So we're going to keep working with them, and we can all learn from this. So that's why we're here.
I just had to ask us, as a board member, that you have that responsibility to find out why.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here today. And just for clarification, there was the community last known that there was going to be a proposal at the BLNR meeting, so there is no proposal moving just for clarity.
No proposal.
For the
It's not on
March
the,
25th.
it's not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda. So the question was, is there a proposal at the Board of Land and Natural Resources on the agenda? Nope, there's no proposal on the agenda for the Board of Land and Natural Resources. The hope, and please, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, the hope is that if there is something that goes to the Board of Land and Natural Resources, then it's all of us asking them, can you pass this because you are responsible for the public trust in that land. It is something that people would agree to from this community. And so we don't have anything on the agenda, so if there's any confusion about that, no, there's nothing at the Board of Land and Natural Resources. Thank you for asking that.
So on that note, the whole reason BLNR was being discussed was because there was a science project or some building of some sort that was suggested to be built upon federal funding from the U.S. Wildlife. So none of that need or is on the table any longer. Is that correct?
I don't know of any, yes, that's right.
It's off the table.
If it would be on the table, we all want to put it on the table together. But it's not.
Currently, unless of course the community, the people here would like to see that sometime in the future, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your consideration.
Anything else?
You'll go last. Okay, I forgive you. And I'm gonna say it directly, don't take it personal. But this is a community that struggles every day. So I have already forgiven you. I don't understand how it turns out that we have these guys show up unannounced at a meeting and say, in December, we heard there's gonna be a pool. We recessed in January. In February, we heard there was gonna be no sweeps. And then all of a sudden, everything's gonna be cleaned up and it's gonna be a beautiful sanctuary by June 1st. I don't understand, what were the policies and procedures, like how did all of that, how is that okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not okay.
Yes.
And I'm disappointed and it's embarrassing and I feel disrespected. But I forgive you and I'm done.
No disrespect. No disrespect to anybody. Thank you. I understand what you're saying. I think that's why I'm here.
It was very fair. That's just I didn't like any of it. But I appreciate you coming here and trying to make it right. Thank you.
Okay, so to hopefully try and make this easier, speak to me, project to the room. Okay?
Sorry.
Speak to me, project to the room because they can't hear over there too.
Madam Chair?
Mr. Pakele.
Back in early November, the water was shut off, and like where the boats come in, they wash the boats, but then the residents' pool, they're using it to wash up. Right. So the water was turned off in November, and it was supposed to turn on back at the end of December, and it's still off. Can we get the water turned back on, please, and the bathrooms fixed, please?
That's what we're checking on, and actually, that's being looked at right now. And as you can imagine, that needs to be checked out, so we cannot make a false commitment. But that's heard loud and clear about the water and the restroom. Thank you very much. And it was made very clear in the Buffalo
Question. Mahalo, Mike, for coming tonight. You're on the hot seat, and I just wish that Scott and Poole was here as well to take some of that slack, So my question would be, what Aunty Twinkle's them has been doing and her ohana for all these years, and all of us on this coast, we know people very close to them, and to see the success that Aunty Twinkle's and Earl Hunter has been doing. You know, I mean, they're setting precedents. They're setting a template. Not only as Kanaka, but also as Kapo'e Hawaii. So being that this is on election year coming up too, you know, I'm glad that you folks are on here tonight. So my question is, you can see our community came out. We no more mic stopping, we all gotta project our olelo, but we can just see it this room. Sorry. So my question is, please, ho'olohe. Napoyo Wai'anae. Keone.
I'm gonna open up to community now, but I do want to say something, right? I appreciate you coming out, right? But I think what was lacking in my opinion, sitting here is the transparency, some of the trust, right? Because of communication. So I'm hoping going forward, I have a lot of questions. I think I'll just give those to you offline, see if we can avoid some of that moving forward. But I think your ask on looking forward is good, right? But we also have to make sure we correct some of our past mistakes.
We can learn from that.
Yes, in doing that. And we can use this space to do some of that. But right now I'm going to open up.
I have a staff. Thank you.
What I'm gonna say, somebody might not like. I don't mind you being at the harbor at this time, but that is not a safe place. I've been here, I moved out here in 1980, and some of you old timers should speak up and voice what I'm gonna say. I've been through Eva, I've been through Iniki, I've been through the 100-year rain, whatever. I tell you what happened to that forest, Eva. The rains came, the flood came right through your forest. Then the 50 feet waves that night came from this side, almost halfway through your forest.
I think we don't want to bring water.
Never have, no. Oh. The tide surge, right? And the 50 feet waves went right through. Right? History. Imagine I'm learning from history. So that's not the safest place. Iniki was a little bit small, so not as much damage. The 100-year rain. You guys should remember the ones living in Makaha. That car was stuck right at the intersection of Franklin Highway and Makaha Valley Road. Oh, up to the window. That's how this whole area, the whole area from Makaha to the Port Harbor was a river. Right through that forest.
What year was that?
The 100-year rain. When we had the non-stop rain for 40-something days. Right? Learn from history. It's nice now, but I don't want on my watch. I don't want none of these lying in the forest, because when you have the big wind and the rain, the almond trees always come along.
What about the coconut tree?
No more coconut trees yet. The other thing. I live in Nanakuli. So this is what, when the hurricane was passing, I was facing up with my garage, and I would watch the windshield. Behind the street, those are, you don't know what car.
He says
The
no reference to
windshield
what you're
was
talking about.
along behind the street. That was I was watching stuff fly. But on my side, this side of Lahaina, my side, the two peninsulas which act as a wind break. So with that information, we need to be looking at our land inside the gray shield, right? This cannot tell me no more what piece of property. You go all throughout Macau, Wai'anae Valley, choke land, empty land, right? There's gotta be a piece that will be a safe place for your people, right? I want a safe place.
Yeah, we have on a beach 1960, Park, and never seen no 60. 35.
You were there 8 years from 1960 to 1968. You came at night. Never seen 50 feet waves there.
We live on a beach.
Nobody else seen it. If you guys know this guy that ran for office, really know Mike Rizzo. His house is in Macau, right? The wave came over his big wall, right through his.
If it's not a safe place, then why do you want to put a science center for children there? Yeah.
All I'm saying is, think of a safe place.
Excuse me. It's people that you're talking about, people's lives.
Okay,
That's important.
we're gonna open up to the community now. Sorry, my one board who hasn't gone yet.
I just have a quick question. I was wondering, while we're in transition waiting, I know you guys said you're gonna work on like the bathrooms but is there any way, any possibility that the state and the city can work together to have some kind of,
You guys really need to speak up,
Okay,
because
sorry.
like I am talking to you guys, it'd be really helpful.
It's their meeting.
No, I'm just saying, nobody can
Okay,
hear.
I apologize. I just wanna know if the city and state can have, some kind of, any possibility where you guys can work together to have some kind of daily trash pickup for them or on a regular basis while we're in transition? So is there any way state and city can work together to have like a trash pickup at the harbor?
Can I repeat your question?
Yes,
The
please.
question was, can we work together with the city on some kind of regular trash pickup so that there's no trash there and it I don't think that's happened, so I guess to do that. Yes. Thank you.
Mr. Pakele.
I'll try to repeat the question so that everybody can hear, if that's okay with everyone. I might not hear well, but I'm gonna try again.
Okay, I'm gonna let you folks know, community, if you folks wanna talk, please come on this side. I know we usually do this side, but come on this side because these are my two note takers and my assistant. Okay. And please state your name clearly.
Nice and low.
James Pakele, nobody. I'm going to do the read thing because I worked kind of good the last time. So try not to go off script again. So I prepared this little bit stuff. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the thousands of people in our very own community and around the world that have shown the outpouring of support for Pu'uhonoua Wai'anae. This village exists against all odds. Sorry. I'm crybaby. A group of people with the absolute least amount of resources, very slowly, over the course of several years, organized to form a functioning, self-supporting community. This village was built on a foundation of aloha, held together by the principle of my favorite olelo noeau, Malama, kekahi. I'd like to thank Governor Ige, McCartney, Keone Downing, and George Camp for taking the time and making a trip to Nanakuli to meet with Twinkle. I especially like to thank Uncle Buffalo and Aunty Momi for their hospitality and providing their home for this important meeting to happen. The governor's confirmation. Huh? Oh yeah, and the photo bomber. Sorry. The governor's confirmation that there will be no sweep as well as their calling off plans to present their project to the BLNR, has provided much relief to the residents of the village, especially the children. A planned and managed solution is far more beneficial to the village and the larger community than unplanned and unmanaged chaos. That being said, I'd like to acknowledge that canceling the impending sweep does not constitute an agreement for the entire village to stay there in its current location indefinitely. And further, nowhere has it ever been said that people will be given free land and much less free houses, because a lot of people seem to think that's what they're getting. But it does, however, allow us to move forward with our vision and plans without the looming threat of being prematurely swept. It also allows for a plan to be made and executed with adequate time to be done correctly and not a rushed patchwork response to some arbitrary timeline. There's been a vision and a plan in the works for years. It has been planned for years to obtain a more secure site. However, without a lot of resources, it takes a lot of time. I'd like to thank Rep. Andrea Tupola, I don't know if she's here, for all the work she's been putting in behind the scenes, talking to various owners and leaseholders, trying to feel out different possibilities, and her efforts have helped immensely as we move forward and hone in on specific properties. So it's not the first time that these landowners or leaseholders have been approached with the idea and they've had time to digest it. We hope that soon we'll be able to share a detailed, informed version of the vision and the plan. Currently, there are too many variables, and we need to analyze that resource, what resources are available, and more importantly, which resources are obtainable. This will require further meetings with the governor and his team. And finally, we aim to move forward with positivity and in good faith. And I hope that we can build on the positive turn of events that have happened this week. And although mistakes were made, and we've been put through a lot, especially in the last few months, not dwell on the negative. Aloha, kekahi, kekahi. Mahalo.
I acknowledge, James, your statement and appreciate it, and thank you. And that is an accurate representation, I think, for sure how I feel. And I am not going to speak for the governor, but I believe that too. So thank you so much.
Mr. Nanakuli, well, he's coming up. I just want to remind you, if you want to speak, please come up over here.
First of all, thank you, and please tell the governor he can handle a lot of people. Since the people even stand that money. And it was nice to see him come back to somebody more culturally sensitive. Okay.
Can you speak up, Mr. Nanakuli, please?
Anyway, I'm here to try to save the land. I'm not sure how you guys know about this land here, but at one time, it was projected to be a science center. Yeah. In 1990, when Iniki came by, we went inside there and we go clean the land. The people that was at the HCAP. And what we did was we discovered the shrimp holes. And we thought that was a wonderful thing at the time. But unfortunately, what happened was, as you know, everything changed. For those that are not familiar, they went backfill the back section of the property with the things that came from down Hotel Street, King Street. Remember but they bought a lot of stuff here anyway. So what they're planning back there was to make soccer fields. So I'm not sure, Mike, how we can change that, because as you know, if you're not familiar, this whole area one time was all ice box. Yeah, we had all our fish, we had all our fresh meats, and so it's important for the people that's coming behind us to understand that, because we never had ice boxes, but yet we always had fresh food. Yeah, and it was fresh always because it came from the ocean and from the mountains and from the rivers. So, I am very impressed with this young lady. I'm 71 years old, I'll be 72 in July, and I've been involved in my community for many years. And I have never seen somebody as successful as this young lady. I mean, really, I've seen many groups and organizations receive millions of dollars. But what have they produced? Yeah, so, help us. This is a cultural thing, you know, and it's not only the Hawaii. As you know, we have many other Polynesians inside the group. And, you know, it would be wonderful for us to get back together in that perspective. So, please help us as much as you can.
I forgot to remind everybody, you have 2 minutes, okay, on the comments and the question side. So we can move through, and then we'll just keep coming back around. So we'll come back to my board if there's anything else.
Aloha, my name is Brian Keone. I'm from Kapolei, side Makakilo. I lived there since '63. But let me give you a little background. I lived here in Wai'anae before Tamura's was built. We was living in a haole housing in the back there. I went to Wai'anae Elementary, then we moved Makakilo in '63, been there ever since. But I used to come down here, hitchhike all the way from down there, go surf my car, bath everybody on the beach. It was pleasant, never have traffic. Nowadays I'm stuck over there by Kekahi Point trying to get down here. But what I want to say is, you know, it's sad because everybody's 2 weeks from being bankrupt in this state. And, you know, the disease is development. Why we no more houses? Development, overdevelopment. And I cannot afford a price. I work all my life. We rather throw money to a freeway for a little choke area in Aiea. That's where all our money going. And nobody's even on that thing. You know, tourism, B&B, he's out there, tourism, you guys would blow tourism up. Oh, come, everybody come visit Hawaii. But they never stay in the hotels. They started feeding into the residential areas. Now you can tax the sewage, you can tax the water, you can tax the roadway, all of this. So I just want to let you know that it's a deeper seated problem than just this. This is a great beginning though, because like myself, I don't like pilau. She's been keeping it clean. You know, nobody wants anybody in their backyard if they're going to be pilau. But the way they've been doing stuff. So I came the other week, I brought her some meat. I was trying to suggest her, give her a 501c. Just like those guys out in Kahuku, they get shrimp trucks. Hey, do that, pound poi, whatever. You guys helping yourself. You don't need the state. Just know who you are. Know that you're the creator. And you created the government. The government never created you guys. That's all I wanted to say.
Amen.
Can I just say something about, the vacation rentals? And communities are for communities. And good communities are for the community and visitors. It's not a good mix, and we have to work together to do that because it's not. Yep, that's our home. That's what we have to make sure that our homes are for our people. So thank you for sharing that.
Okay, we get plenty of people over here. If you guys get any now, this is the time to ask your questions because we got the representative for governor. So, mahila ila hele mai maani.
Aloha everyone. Aloha. Representative Cedric Gates. I just wanted to come up here and share my mana'o on this situation and commend the governor's office for meeting with Aunty Twinkle and Pu'uhonoua Wai'anae to really clear out the miscommunications that have been discussed prior through the media, through Facebook, through many forms of communication. And for me, I think the realest thing that the governor could have done was meet face to face with Twinkle them to discuss what this plan will look like. When it was brought to my attention that a plan was being put into place, and I looked at the timeline, I straight up told the governor's office that it was too fast. We really have to engage all the stakeholders into the discussion and really develop a plan. And when I sat on the neighborhood board as a chairman, and this same thing came up, I called Scott Morishige here to have that open discussion with the community to discuss what this transition plan looks like and to make sure that the government wasn't going to come in here and sweep our community and compound our homeless problems across our community. Because Pu'uhonoua, Wai'anae isn't the only encampment that we have across our coastline. We have many camps all over, and I could just see that growing if we was to sweep that. And for Aunty Twinkle, you have my utmost respect. Last year, I recognized Aunty Twinkle as a leader at the state capitol through my House floor presentation to let the legislature know that I respected her. I also recognized Uncle Glenn Kila as well in that presentation, and let them know that these are leaders of our community and they need to be engaged. They need to be on the table for discussion and be able to voice their concerns and have that open dialogue. And then for last year, one of my first initiatives that I pushed was the Pu'uhonoua Wai'anae bill, which was to basically legitimize what Aunty Twinkle them are doing there and to locate a place that we could provide the infrastructure and resources for them to actually improve their model, because it's a great model. And as you know, across our state, we have over 7,000 homeless individuals and families living on our streets. And to look at Aunty Twinkle's model and know that this is a real viable solution that we could implement and that we could improve if we provide the funding and resources to support that initiative. And I'm glad that the talks are continuing to go on. Right now, we do have legislation moving through the legislature to support Ohana zones or Pu'uhonoua models. And one of those bills is HB 2281, which I co-introduced with Representative Mizuno, which establishes within the Department of Human Services an Ohana Zone program. It also provides funding for the Housing First initiative as well as assessment centers. And one of the gaps that I felt needs to be addressed is that we have so many service providers and not enough consolidated resources in one area, so that if you're homeless, if you're a resident experiencing homelessness, you're able to seek all the services that you need, whether it's for employment, substance abuse, housing, all of those different important programs that need to be offered and readily available. And as you know, we are ways from Kapolei, from town, from where all the other resources that are offered to other communities are at. And I just felt it was unfair, and I felt that our community was being neglected not to have a organized community assessment center that we could thoroughly assess our families and individuals to get them into permanent housing situations as well as transitional housing situations.
Okay,
Sorry.
Okay, so if you have questions or suggestions or comments, can you give that to
Yep,
Mike?
I will right now. So
this is-
I'll transition right into questions.
Because we 2 minutes.
Yeah, got it. I just wanted to provide a quick update because, you know, it's a big issue. For the governor's office, you know, it was brought up about the trash pickup. I think that that's a big initiative that you guys can enable the state to create there. Another initiative that I really would like the governor to take into consideration is providing mobile hygiene centers at Pu'uhonoua Wai'anae, so that they can have clean access to water as well as showers and toilets. So that's super important. The other thing I would urge the governor to do is to declare a state of emergency for homelessness again, so that we can get the resources and the funding released in a timely manner to address this urgent homeless crisis, housing crisis that we have on the coastline. And I would just ask that you guys treat this situation with urgency and to consult with our community and as well as the representative and senator of this district. So thank you.
Sorry about letting them go over 2 minutes. It's not because it is my brother, it's because it is apologies.
Good evening, everyone. Madam Chair. My name is James. I wasn't born and raised here. I've lived here for 50 years. I started living in Makaha. Now I live in Miley. The first time I noticed we have homeless families living out here is when they got rid of rent control. You ask every single family that's living on the beach today. What brought you here? Oh, my landlord raised my rent, I can't afford it. Even me, I bust my old pulley to raise my family, and I'm still struggling. I got 1 foot out the door because my landlord wants to raise my rent. My thing is, they should bring back the rent control to control these people that are renting these houses, thinking they can get big bucks, like coming back to the tourists, bringing the tourists in that they will pay for it. And they're sacrificing our families to live on the beach. And I don't think that's right. It is not right. And now, Buffalo, you don't know me now. You don't know me from Adam, but I do know you. You're a big community advocate for this community, and I thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I had something else, I forgot. Old age, I forgot what it was. But thing is, my other question was, how come Scott not here? Scott knows me. I understand that you're here. I understand. But his job is homeless advocate. I am right now, I used to be with the Wai'anae Neighborhood Board. Now I'm with the Nanakuli Maili Board. But I'm not speaking on their behalf, I'm speaking on my behalf. Scott has been before our board a couple of times. And all I've ever heard was him flapping his jaws about the percentage, this, percentage that. And I told him, okay, what are you doing? He couldn't answer that. He couldn't give us an answer, what he is going to do about it. And to me, this is my opinion. He shouldn't even be in that position. He shouldn't even have it because, to me, he's not doing anything for the families living on the beach. And my thing is the kekis, the small kids. They're living on the beach because their parents are living on the beach. Reason why the parents are living on the beach? Because they have no place to rent because the landlords raised the rent. And to me, that's wrong. Thank you. Thank you.
Listen to this.
Aloha, my name is John DeSoto. I'm with Makaha Hawaiian Civic Club, and it's like a chicken skin too because many years ago, being from Makaha, I used to race dirt bikes all over the world, 36 different countries. I lived in Czechoslovakia, Barcelona. Also too, a lot of times if you look on YouTube, I was homeless in North Hollywood for 6 months living in an abandoned Corvair, abandoned car. I know what it is. I know what it feels like. It's just like, it's very, very difficult. The reason why I wanted to come up and say things and come up and present things, because we're looking at the negative parts as taking control. A lot of the negative part is we got a lot of the chronics are coming out. They're passing but Wai'anae High School. They're doing all kinds of things. Even Mr. Endo knows there's one guy chasing a naked lady through the bushes, going through campus of the high school. But the negative part is that's what makes it really, really bad for those in need. We paddle canoes from from Pokai to Lahi Lahi, and all the opala coming out from outside, from the encampment. And we're looking at it and says, this is like, for looking at it, we have no respect. Bring with the Hawaiian Civic Club. We look at the first thing you got to do is take care of the aina. First, of course, you got to take care of yourself, the person you're looking at in the mirror. If you can't take care of that person, there's nothing that you can do. It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. What I've learned in life is that you got to take care of that person first, and then make it work together. Make it a win-win situation, not I win, you lose, because eventually it's going to go back again this way here. Knowing that I've gone all over the place and look at the things, and we've got Makaha Valley, all Lulule. I take the section burial council all up to Kahuku because I ride dirt bikes up in the archaeological sites, etc. It's just unreal. And listening to what is happening there, the negative part, making shishi, making doo-doo, all kinds of things like that, I understand. We got to make it work. So somehow it's got to work. It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. And that's the whole situation we got to do And the only way we can do that is we need to, like what we're doing now, speak out. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You know, you can point fingers and blame everybody else, but the most person you gotta blame is the one that's not speaking, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Do they have a problem out in Kauai Kai, up in Kailua side? Ole, it's all over here. Because we need to speak out, and that's why we want and we appreciate you guys coming. We appreciate the community coming together as a form of communication. And then what's good too, and Uncle Buff never said so, but every year, even though it didn't have waves, Uncle Buff would always surf by Pokai Bay, because that's when the sewage treatment plant would flush the toilet and the waves would come out. 5 o'clock in the morning, so he would catch the waves over there too. And it was called a lot of doo-doo.
Aloha everyone. My name is Beth Leeds, and I'm here because I feel the love in this room, and I cannot believe that there is so much love here. And I had to speak because I know a lot of the problems, no water, trash pickup, the governor's office, he can have that happen immediately. I know it can happen because those things will make everything a lot easier. We need to make it easier for us. But do we want more government handout? No. Let's accept a government handout as a temporary thing. But let's make our own money, let's make our own community, and let's not live in those places where the landlord raises the rent on us, because that's totally out of line. We cannot afford $2,000, $3,000 for the kind of house we really would like to live in. We can't even afford $1,000. I'm homeless myself, but it's okay because I believe in you guys and I believe in Twinkle. I am twinkling. That's what I'm doing. So I have strategies. I am a very good strategist. I have written bills for Congress on the mainland, on the states. I've done all these things, and I know that I can help. And negotiation is not the word, like you said. It's true. There is no them and us now. We have to work together, but we don't have to take handouts. We can make our own money, and I have plans for that. I know how we can do it. So I'm offering my expertise to you because I feel the love in this room, and I am a part of you. And so I am you.
Aloha, everyone. I knew Mike when we were young, and I'm so proud that he's here because he was always a good listener, and I believe in what he says. It would go back to the governor. So I thank you very much for being here. My name is Glenn Keela, and I'm an educator, and I'm still educating. It hurts when I take my students from Kamaile, and they tell me that they live at Pu'uhonoua or Wai'anae, because there's so much shame in there, but there's so much pride in there. So I feel for them. So when we say Pu'uhonoua, what does it mean? It means sanctuary. It means a place where people and our children can live in safety. So I look at Aunty Twinkle's, and it is a safe place. Because I used to walk on this road here in the morning, and I have to make sure that I'm safe. But you know what? I have never been accosted or threatened or even approached for drugs and all that. But I know that there are, like in every family, that there are people that take drugs, that drink. I know that. We all know that. The thing about it is that it's a Pu'uhonoua. Wai'anae has always been a Pu'uhonoua. In the 1960s, Damon Trek, over 167 families were evicted from that area in Kalihi, and they came here. And they could survive because the rent was low. And they were able, those children that I grew up with in the 60s, were able to have a good life. Then in the 1970s, then we had Kalama Valley.
This was a Pu'uhonoua. And all these farmers from Hawaii came over here, and Wai'anae opened their doors. Now we have this problem of the homeless from all over the world, and they're here. And we again open our doors. So we cannot forget the compassion that this community has. We must take care of our people. And the only way we can do this is that we have to work together. And we have to work with the governor. I'm very proud that Mike and the governor is here with us and with Uncle Buffalo. You know, he's a hero. He was a navigator that went to Tahiti. And we have to look at what his vision is. And our tupuna's vision was to take care of kids. Children first. So let's not forget Wai'anae has a history of being a Pu'uhonoua. When they say that they're going to close it because of the opai'ula, that is not true. The fact is that the opai'ula is dying because they're taking the water from Keone stream. Return the water from Keone, from Kamaile, and that the whole area would have these opai'ula. Our tupuna, Uncle Lucio Badayos, told me this. He said, you can tell the health of the coast by the opai'ula. Well, you know why we don't have fish? Because they took the water out. The border water supply took the water out of the land, and so we don't have the shrimp anymore that feed the fish, that feed the limu out there. So if we want to do this, please, we have to take care of the water situation up there. These are the things, and is it sacred? Well, the name of that place is called Wai'anae. Wai'anae. That means it's the fresh water because Kamapua'a, our demigod, came over here and echo the land, and there was a lot of water over here. All over Kamaile was water from Kamapua'a. The stories of Kumu Ma'o, the green lady. If anybody who's my age, 60s, going 70s, 80s, you guys remember the green lady? The story of the green lady, that was Kumu Ma'o. It was a deity that was here. And he brought rain, he brought water. And what we're saying is that yes, we need the school. Yes, we need the education. But we have to work together, and we have to make sure that our children, our people, have jobs. If we really want to solve the problem, we have to have jobs. We have to have cheap housing. So mahalo. Thank you.
Mom, you can state your name, please.
Nice and long, brother. Thank you.
My name is Calvin. I am
And if you can speak
one
up,
of
please.
the officers, a person that is and
Speak louder, please.
I'm proud of that. There's a lot of respect. We share, and above all, the gig is to walk. We have passed it. Our kids see. That's why we get together. We sweep that. And I'm one of them that helps take care of make sure I'm all power. I'll oversee. I'm inside.
State your name, please. Go ahead.
Aloha, my name is Samantha. My name is
Samantha Lorenzo, but my last name is Watson now. I'm from here. I was born and raised in Wai'anae. I went to Wai'anae High School. And currently I am a service provider out here. So I'm speaking on behalf as a service provider. I am working at the transitional homeless shelter. And I see the need, and for me to come up with, I was sitting in my seat, but I know I need to say something. There's such a need, in our community, for maybe an assessment center, you know what I mean, where families would know where to come. They don't even know what to do, because of now how the system had changed through this coordinated entry system. I believe that it needs to be out there in the community, because some people don't know. They come knocking on our door, and it really hurts my heart that I can't really help them. I have to tell them, well, you have to be referred to the coordinated entry system, which some people don't even understand, and I have to educate them, and I have to share with them, and I will help them to as much as I can. We had helped 2 families from the Boat Harbor get into permanent housing, with some of the resources that we have. So if there's something as far as an assessment center where families know if if you struggle, with rent, because that's usually what happens. They fall into rent, not being able to pay their rent for 1 month, something happens to their family, and they're right there back in homelessness, and that's the thing. So I really appreciate, the funding that we've been having, and continue to fund it, because we're here, our service providers. I really am fortunate to be in this position that I am, and seeing the family's success. But it's the funding. Sometimes we're like, we don't know how to help them, but the families are working. We have working families that can't even make it, and they don't qualify for TANF, they don't qualify for SNAP because they make too much. And they make $2,000, that's too much. It's like, how does that happen? We have families in our transitional shelter that can't receive certain benefits because they make too much money. And they're just having a really hard time. So, but also, going back to an assessment center where families would know, and really go out into the, have it in the media on how people can get services, because they don't even know how this whole system works. I believe as we communicate, with the community, then that would, benefit, how to get the resources. So they're not stranded. They don't go into homelessness. We're doing a prevention. So if you're, you have struggle with your rent, then people would know where to go and what to do, So that's my sense on that.
Aloha mai kākou. Aloha. Ani o Pu'uhonoua. I'm also from Wai'anae, and I'm actually from the diaspora as well, the Hawaiian diaspora. Came from Washington State and moved back home. I was born and raised here. I left when I was 10. My dad was in the military. So I came back home in 2014 and I came to the village. I needed sanctuary, and the village provided that sanctuary. I'm here in support of Aunty Twinkle's and Dynamic Community Solutions, and also here to support Aunty Twinkle's, and I think that she needs a lease. That's why I'm here. I'm here to ask those who are in power to give Aunty Twinkle's a lease, so that we can move forward in a good way. And it should start with the Pu'uhonoua, because it's a sanctuary, right? And in traditional times, the sanctuary was there to provide safety for embattled veterans, safety for people who get pilikia with their ohana. It's a safe place for them to go to. So I'm here to support the Pu'uhonoua, because I've lived in the Pu'uhonoua. I'm also a doctorate. I'm getting my doctorate in anthropology. And the Pu'uhonoua is actually the heart of my dissertation, but it's also the heart of my life's work. The Pu'uhonoua is not just the village, but it's also an imagination or an imaginary. It's a dream, right? And we should be creating sanctuary everywhere we go. We should be creating sanctuary so that people feel safe. So for me, the Pu'uhonoua, this idea of sanctuary is something that belongs to everybody. Yeah, where else can you think of a safe place for anybody to go at any time? You know, that's outside of paying, you know, rent or paying mortgage. And, you know, a lot of us are one check away from being in the Pu'uhonoua ourselves. So it's really important, I think, for Aunty Twinkle to have a lease to some land so that she can have the power of enforcement, so that the Pu'uhonoua can actually function in a way that is pono, right? Pono for the people and pono for everybody in Hawaii. So that's why I'm here. Mahalo.
Could you state your name for the record?
My name is Kalani Young.
Hey, Joe. We'll get him.
So, I'm going to apologize first, Mike, for what I'm going to say. You and I worked together for 6 years at the legislature, so we know each other. I'm just going to do some chronicle for the individuals in the room, so they can get a clearer picture of the adequacy of dialogue between our neighborhood board, our community, the individuals who live at Pu'uhonoua or Wai'anae. You know that I brought the governor to the Wai'anae Small Boat Harbor to meet Twinkles on August 12, 2015. Along with him was Scott Morishige, as well as Roy Amamiya from the City and County of Honolulu, as well as Craig Hirai from HHFDC. And I even spoke to you early January 2016 after that and asked you, where's the dialogue? And I got blown off. No discussion. Never heard from the governor again until we hear this statement last week through the two messengers. That is not transparent. No. What I've been reading in the paper for the last month and a half, it is clear that there was a lot of misnomers out there. And there was no statements from the governor's office. There was no attempts until a community member made that attempt to have a conversation between the governor and Twinkles again. We deserve better. Scott Morishige has not been back before this board in a year and a half until he came last week, Tuesday. He's been to Nanakuli Maili board 3 times in the last year. How is that? And I know he doesn't speak for the governor, but he can come and give updates just like Mark Alexander from the City and County of Honolulu on homeless issues and processes. So there is no transparency here, and really, I don't have a lot of hopes after tonight. And you know, I know you're the messenger tonight. Well, you're taking the wax tonight. You know, so I want to know, when is the next follow-up meeting? Okay, so again, we're waiting again. I know. So, we still need open dialogue.
I agree.
And I think our community should stand behind that.
Thank you.
And support Twinkles in hearing that dialogue and not having them to wonder, are we going to be gone tomorrow, next year? Are we going to be offered something? And you and I both know there's an opportunity on the table right now. So, the governor's office either sends down a governor's message to the legislature to help with infrastructure, to help with rubbish pickup in the time being. If not, you've got the opportunity with this current legislature to get some funds to help with that. And you know the process already. Time is ticking. And once we go past that budget time, we don't have the opportunity.
The budget isn't there, that'll be all.
That's right. So either the governor sends down the message, or our legislators need to step up and understand how to ask for the dollars. So I'm hoping this conversation is going to continue.
Thank you.
You know, I appreciate you coming out tonight, but
it's
one step forward.
I do remember.
Yeah, you do
to
remember talking to me, and I never got a response again.
So, sorry. Thank you.
So I appreciate you coming out. And I hope to hear when is the next meeting for our community. Thank you.
Mahalo, Joe.
Hi, I'm Sparky. 20 years ago, I was under Governor's task force. And we talked about the long-term solution to homelessness and having vets, Hawaiians, off the beach. The result was bulldozers, arrests. Same problem, no trash collection, no more lua, no more water, so they have to go all the way down to KL to fill up water to come back. Oh, got a court date, no more transportation. They got to walk all the way to KL to get a bus. So, if the governor really wants to solve this problem, because I blame the state, I blame the feds, I blame the county. The trash could be picked up tomorrow. If you get on the phone right now, call the cops or the BLNR, they would be down there in force in the morning. So all of this stuff, after 20 years, it's really hard for me to come here because of the pain of being evicted and standing up and listening to the governor and all of his, I'm gonna call them cronies, because they did what he wanted, clear the beach. I don't care where they go, but they cannot be here. So I don't trust the government. I don't trust the spokesman that comes here and takes the wax for the people that are privileged, that don't like seeing people struggle and succeed, and talk about Pu'uhonoua, a place that's supposed to be for healing, but where the cops gonna come? They're gonna come in their ninja outfits to deliver the eviction notice. John DeSoto, Aunty Frenchie was 20 years before us at Makua. So, and before that, you look at all of the evictions. Sand Island, Makapu, Wai'anae, Kaneohe, Wai'ole Waikani. You go around and all the islands got the same problem. So who's the fault? The states, the counties, and the federal government. So how are we going to resolve this? We got to make sure that these guys no lie. And start being honest with the community. And start coming out here. This is BS. Because I don't anticipate a solution. And I'll tell you, when all of the talking is done and the cops are coming out, I will be there to get arrested again.
And so will we!
Aloha mai kako, my name is Representative Aloha. I didn't get to do a report last week, so don't worry, I'll still keep it to 2 minutes. I just have 3 thoughts. I've been watching this online, so thank you Civil Beat for going live, because lots of people are watching. Appreciate you guys. First thought I had, this is exactly what Sparky and what Joel brought up, which everyone should know in this room, is that last week we were told that there was some federal grant and that's why all of this was happening. And then Civil Beat covered an article that there was no such thing. That is unacceptable. And this is why we cannot progress in our community when people say one thing and then do something else. To come here and talk about a federal grant and then all of a sudden this week it never even existed. That is not something our community should have to put up with. The second thing is that they talk about the Opai'ula. We have never seen a statewide Opai'ula plan. We don't know that the state is protecting Opai'ula in other places besides over here. So we should be asking, what are these plans and what do they look like? That's the second thought I had. Is that if anybody presents a plan, even to you guys, even to something as advisory as a neighborhood board, a plan looks like a printed document with actual names, dates, timelines, people, PowerPoint, handouts. You kind of come to the community and say, oh, by the way, we're going to do a presentation about what's going on. We're just going to talk about it. No, you shouldn't be allowed to, because we expect more of our leaders, because that's how much we love our community. Yeah, exactly. We shouldn't allow presentations that don't have details, that don't have timelines, that don't have real grants behind them. the last thought that we should all take into consideration is that our community is always stronger when we come up with the solutions. Because the people who have to implement these solutions is not the government, it is us. And so the empowerment that happens when solutions come from the community is so different than at them or for them. And that's what's been happening this whole time. Everybody here knows that. And that's what we need to address as a community, is that after this meeting, we shouldn't just let it die here with just all this talky, yeah? We should get out and do action with a printed plan with actual timelines of what we're gonna do for ourselves. Because we make up the state, not the government, yeah? And so we are the ones that should be implementing this. And those, you know, we appreciate you coming out here, but it's disheartening to hear things from week to week changing like this. And I just wanna advocate for my side of the community as well, for everybody who spends time here at these neighborhood boards, all the neighborhood board members, that we shouldn't expect less than the best for our community, ever.
State your name, ma'am.
Leho, Carolina. All I want to say is my dad can take care of. I mean, he brought, we have 3 boys, 2 girls, my mom and my dad, but I never knew we had 30, yeah, and that's all my Hanai brothers, yeah, and it's all in the heart, yeah. There's a way, there's a will, there's a way, and that's how my mom and dad taught us, and you know, providing, because my dad is ocean, we always had food, always. And all those boys, they from stealing, drug world, but my dad turned their life around, you know. And for Twinkles, I know she can do that too. You just got it. You believe in her. You know. Give her that. Just believe in that. Because, you know, I feel comfortable when I go there. And it's, I don't smell shishi. I don't look at Kambulu. It's so beautiful in there. You know, beautiful. And, you know, and I speak out, you know. People talk down about it. Hey, you know what? Shut it. You don't know nothing. You know? But, yeah, like, you know, my dad, you cannot find the kind of people like my dad, Twinkle, you know, old timers. Yeah? The generation nowadays is, you know, they know stay over here. Yeah? And you cannot find the kind of generation. So, you know, and I love my parents dearly. I love Twinkle.
Aloha.
Aloha.
My name is Momi. Buffalo is my husband. I personally would like to thank Mike for coming out here and taking all the wax you have, babe. Because it takes a hell of a man to stand over here and have everybody just chop at you. Not wax. The trouble is, people don't realize you have come here, we have opened up a book. By opening up a book, you have people talking to each other. That's the problem. People don't talk to anybody anymore. You have to find out, how's your neighbor? How are you doing? If somebody needs help, you have to turn around and talk. There's always somebody that will help. We have leaders in our community. We have teachers. We have all kinds of expertise people. Now these people can come out, turn around and talk to Auntie Twinkles and say, Twinkles, how can we help you? What do you need? This lady is taking care of 16 children. And she provides for them their food, their clothing, everything. She doesn't get 1 red cent from anybody. She goes on her own and she does this. And I salute you, Twinkles, for that, being a mother of 6. Would be a beautiful place. Aloha. Yeah.
chronological events, and then noeau. But what I really want to do is take this last half an hour to really allow DCS and our community to figure out with the governor's rep, when is our next meeting, and then real dialogue along plans, right, with the Pu'uhonoua and then the property, right, the transition, because we don't want a gap or a lapse in whatever might happen. And springboarding off what Joe and Rep. Paula said on making sure we follow up and we continue these conversations, we want to make sure that happens. So there's accountability both ways, right? One with the state and with us as a community, with Pu'uhonoua and all the supporters. We want to make it work together, right? We keep saying that, but what does that look like? So this last half an hour after Kathy, I'm going to ask the DCS board to come up and then please address Mike on what it is you folks want to see look like there. Okay? Because collaboration in planning, right, is when we're all at the table, not somebody comes with the plan for us. Partnership and implementation is how we put that into effect for ourselves, right? We have the Manal, we have the Ige. Sometimes we lack resources, but that's where we support each other like this. But I don't want this to be fluff session. So this last half an hour should be about really looking what moving forward looks like. Okay? So Kathy, you're the last one, and then please, DCS board, if you folks will come out, Twinkle, okay? And then we'll get to the asks for Mike to take back, right? We're not negotiating right now, but he will take back this list of what it is we need with help. Okay, both community Pu'uhonoua side, okay? Both sides, all sides. Okay.
Aloha, Wai'anae, kakoa pau. I'd like to thank every single person for coming here. This is an example of community, whether you agree or don't agree, it's people coming together. And that's what makes this a better place and what makes our community special. I would like to thank Mike. I've seen him in government for many, many, many years. And if he had come to the other meeting, I don't think we would have had that problem. However, he's here now, and of an extension of our community with Aloha is when our leaders come forward. Off everybody that took part in that particular meeting, and it had to take people coming together, and as Aunty said, to talk story. That's what Aloha is all about. And I come from that group of people way back when they used to call us radicals. So I don't know where Sparky went, but I was involved in all of those too. And if we have to go back to that, then that's something in the toolbox. But hopefully, with the practice of kupo aloha, which is what the Pu'uhonoua is trying to do, what TMT is trying to do, what other groups in the community are trying to do, we now have someone to ho'olo'i, and we want to keep that going as a synergy. Coming from homelessness, and it wasn't through any of the situations that are there now, it was through the corporations that were building Waikiki. And even if you paid your rent, you had 10 days to get out. So I was blessed to be Malama by the Beach Boys, the Waikiki Beach Boys, some of Buff's generation as well as others. And I didn't know them for some of the other reputations that they had. I knew them as friends, cousins, uncles, brothers, sisters, whatever was there. And we were able, at that time the water was clean, we could get manini, we could get kinalea, somebody bring poi, everybody, nobody went home hungry because everybody worked together. And this is the beauty of this community. It may not look like that from the outside, but you're gonna hurt one, you're gonna hurt all. And it doesn't matter if I would fight with you yesterday, I come in with my spirit today. So that's just something that the outside doesn't understand. And what that applies to is that there's a colloquialism of it takes a village. No one ever expected for these folks to create a village. Not just a village, but a sanctuary. No one ever expected for people to live the culture. Everybody's fighting over it, spending money, but these folks are living examples. And I would almost bet, even though I don't get a paycheck anymore, my Social Security check is that the babies that are in this village, through the help of everybody there, as well as the providers outside, bringing in nursing students and all that, if you put those babies next to the babies in the community at large, these babies are more healthy. They have more aloha because they have that village to raise them. And this is the concept. These folks also, I don't mean these folks, my community, my folks, they have a nonprofit status. How are you going to act? So that puts them in the running with anybody else who would want to lease land from BLNR. So I want those points to be given in aloha, and I want to thank everyone for coming, as well as our neighborhood board for their courage in bringing this together tonight. Mahalo.
So in Twinkle's and leadership in DCS, yeah, you folks should be doing the specific aspect of Pu'uhonoua. The community around is, what I also want to keep in mind after you folks do is, if whatever the future plans for the Pu'uhonoua as an entity or in its physical space is, right, I want to know on the community side, what are the plans or how can we plan forward for that space or for that the property as well? Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, so I know 2 years ago we started working on top of this. Yeah, and in one of those meetings, I had asked how I could get lease on the land. It came up from poor idea that I needed to become a non-profit, in order to get lease on the land. My goal is not to just help only our people here, but to move on and keep helping more. First of all, we lost our identity, because I know I did. I found my identity there, and I found healing there also, So even when my kids tell me, Mama, we'll be all right. Yeah, we will. But Mama, I'm sure. So first of all, I am asking for when is the next time we will meet. I want truth in all this. I do not want to work with Scott nor Pua because the truth has been broken. When I come in, all those who sit in the back, I carry them with me when I come in and fight. Each meeting I come in, I do not stand and only represent myself. I represent the whole village here. So when I come in with 220 carrying on my shoulders. And each time when they come home, I bring to the table and I ask. My whole goal is helping our people. I only direct their love towards my people, because that's one thing we always lack in. I want to be able to know that I will get a lease or something that we can go to and even help even more. I don't want to only be the only solution for Pu'uhonoua, because I'm not only thinking of one hui, but I'm thinking of the whole hui here. That's how we should be. That's what Wai'anae is.
Let me just go through our board. Twinkle is the executive director, and I kind of lost track of who is what after this, but we got Aunty Loke, Aunty Joey, Marcus over there, and Ken, but they sit over there. So at some point we got together, we hatched this plan, and the plan was to relocate, not vacate the area when the plan was hatched. It wasn't to vacate the area, but it was to secure a different location, some location where we get a little bit more autonomy and a little bit more ability to build a little bit more sturdy structures and maybe some infrastructure, because not allowed to do that over there so far. So we've been looking at different parcels of land, but we don't know exactly the resources. So we're trying to look at different ways on how we can obtain that. We did create a 501c3. Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, that took a while too. It was kind of going along for like 1 year, and
this, was trying to tell us. And Andrea go, 1 year, you is nuts, come my house. And we stayed up till like midnight, I think. She had to be on a plane at like 5 in the morning. We stayed up till midnight. And we worked it out, ended up like $285, and in like 13 days was a nonprofit, so that was awesome. We're still trying to learn and kind of move forward and see how we can use the status and the entity to move forward. So, we've kind of been enlisting help from other people that know more. Kaumana has been helpful. Uncle Bumpy them, immensely helpful. Trying to learn from people that have a little bit more experience. A lot of our focus, a lot of people, oh, you make more money, you make more money, you make more money. Sometimes you just cannot make more money, right? So we try to attack the other end. How can you live and get by with less money? And so there's different living arrangements and things that you can come together, and we're trying to put those into a plan. And so if the state could help us secure a piece of property so that we can make this dream come true one way or another. I mean, you guys know more about how to go about doing these things. But we got a lot of supporters, and if we could just get a piece of property, I'm sure we'll get a lot of help coming out of the woodwork.
But I just like you guys to be honest with us, yeah, from this day on, because you guys totally wrecked my life. You guys gave me anxieties, many sleepless nights. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through what I did go through with you guys. Bring the plate to the table, be honest at the table, and let's start working with each other, so we can be able to help more of our people and not just here. That's my plan.
Sorry about the stress that it caused. That wasn't our intent. Please, it helps us to learn about how we are and how it creates that dynamic with somebody else. So we failed in that kind of communication. It was never our intent to do that. So please, sorry about that. And I'm pledged to work with you on behalf of my boss, the governor. And that meeting we had, we got to keep it going. And that's what we'll do. Thank you. Maybe I apologize for that. It's on my heart. I never mean to make you feel like that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
James has it in the question.
Oh. And do we get some kind of idea of when our next meeting would be? I mean, I don't expect you to have the answer now, but
soon.
Soon.
I think it's 2-1. When we met last, I think we need to reconvene, and we got to ask permission. And up to Buffalo's, and then I think for the community, we need to reconvene, so we have to ask permission. So can we work with you on that too, so we can make a date set?
We're begging.
Well, yeah, I want to, as principal, let us know, because we do want to be involved, not in the planning for Pu'uhonoua, it's good to have an idea of that, but definitely on still in the space and the process of the transparency and trust, and then also because it does deal with the land property in our community as well. Talking about land, I have a question.
Louder.
Sorry, talking about land, I have a question for you. Joe mentioned that something was on the table. Is that something that you're aware that you can share, and do they know about it? You don't know.
Wait, who said was on the table? Joe Jordan.
Joe had mentioned when she was up here that there was something that was on the table.
I think we have to create our own table and start.
Okay, what I took from that was that it came up in discussions, a piece of
I
property.
think that many people, all your representatives, all the people that work on your behalf have asked for help and asked to help this community, and Representative Jordan was doing that. She was asking for help to bridge that. So
No, I think it's recently, this is what I'm asking. And if you don't know about it, then please go back and get it.
I'll go
And
get it.
I think
Something on the table.
yes, but from what I took away from that was that she said right now, there is something, a piece of property on the table. If you can find out about that, please. And then I do also think that it's reasonable to ask within a week.
So if
you
I
can find out.
communicate there's something on the table, I'm gonna talk to them first, and then I'll talk to you. I mean, but I don't know of anything yet there, but yes.
Fine, right? I just want to ask the question because I didn't hear them ask it.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure.
I think when
There
we're
are
searching for
communities as well,
places,
right?
we're
Yes.
looking for places, and for us to say it's on the table, there's a lot of due diligence that has to be done with pieces of land, because they belong to everyone. So that's what I think people are assessing, not only infrastructure, but all kinds of things. What's the use of the land? Is it farming? Is it?
So there's something in consideration.
Yes, absolutely. We are looking, yes.
That was.
Yeah, so on the table is, we are definitely looking, is there a specific piece of property? No, but we're looking to find the right fits for people.
Madam Chair? Thank you so much again for coming into our community. Our biggest ask in the temporary now, before these grand plans can be determined, together with the whole community, it's just the basics. If we can have some trash alleviation, just permission so that we can drop a container perhaps, or that the porta potties that we once had on property, which the BLNR told us to take off, could be changed. If they're not going to repair the restroom by the tennis court, then will they allow us to bring in our own porta potties? Will they allow us running water? Just those basics. Yeah? We would really appreciate it while these discussions are occurring, because knowing that a part of our community is having to endure these types of conditions. None of us. Please,
Thank you. Back to everybody on those three. I don't want to say next Thursday because I'm not sure when, but for sure. One, the trash. Two, the restrooms or porta potty, and number three, the water. The core is follow-up meeting. Okay.
You guys have anything else?
I mean, I just, as far as finding a piece of property, I know that they've been shopping around to different people, because a lot of different people have been telling me like, oh, Scott was here, Scott was here, Scott was here. So I know they're shopping around for different pieces. I think the point in the process now is kind of compile a list and then maybe go through the list and then see what's appropriate. Just to say where they are in the stage.
Okay, more, anything else? Circling back around.
Do we have them on our agenda for next board meeting?
Oh, yeah, that was my other one. Thank you for reminding me. I wanted to know if, like Joey mentioned, right, Scott had to come back and do your math. Besides the governor's rep, because the situation is so prevalent in our community and others who are in our system, can we get a representative?
When is the next board?
First Tuesday of the month, since April 3rd.
That's number 5 then. April 3rd.
Yeah. And that's not.
That doesn't mean we cannot do other things before that. Yeah, but I'm not going to wait. Okay.
Okay, nothing else from the board. Anything else on the community side? That's first thing, and that speaks to what we were just talking about.
I have one more thing to say.
Sure.
Is it?
Quick up. I forgot to mention, we just passed the budget in the House, and we have put $15 million to go to a Pu'uhonoua safe solution. Looking forward to ensuring that Aunty Twinkle and the Wai'anae Coast gets a huge chunk of that $15 million, and the House has made it a priority to address our housing and homeless situation, and we're reflecting that within the budget with the $15 million allocated to this. Just a quick update. Sorry.
Okay, is there anything else that speaks to, does this speak to this? Does it speak to what we're talking about? Okay.
I want to say that, to me, the homeless situation is not a homeless situation. It is a homeless situation turned into a village. Because when people have a home, even if it is a small home, it is a home. And I believe that the village is a village of homes where people live.
I'll just remind you, there's been some stuff in the press. They've said that, these folks have been walking their waste over the Keone and dumping them in the bay.
That's a
and
lie.
that they've been using the Pu'uhonoua holes for toilets or whatever. I've never seen it, and it would really help and go a long way if you guys could either, have these people either show us proof that they, or just make some kind of public statement or whatever, just acknowledging that that's not what's going on. At least there's no evidence of that. Because these guys, there's something that you feel like it's going on. It's not
Yes.
Thank you.
So I want to mahalo everybody for coming. If you haven't, please sign in so we have your email address. Look for the notes, they'll go up in about a week, 2 weeks. But and then look for the follow-up information on this, okay? Because as a community, we'll stay on top of it. And I want to thank Mike for coming.
Just thank Senator.
Yes.
She's been very good. I just want to say aloha to you.
I can mention something. I don't know, I'm sorry I came in late, so I don't know if this has already been mentioned, but we had a recent visit at Pu'uhonoua, and there's a 3-acre parcel, it's a city parcel, is my understanding, that's adjacent to their existing Pu'uhonoua transitional shelter. And Pu'uhonoua, I think, has been leasing that for quite some time, and they actually want to develop that into some kind of transitional housing. And so, I don't know whether that's something that would appeal to Pu'uhonoua, Wai'anae, but it's a beautiful area. And then you have a service provider who wants to make it into a transitional shelter. One of the problems is it's become an illegal dump over the years, so there's a lot of dumping going on there. But I don't know whether that could be, it might be a parcel that's already being considered by the administration, but I think that might be a possible fit. So, and I would be glad to support these efforts however I can. And over this what's happened just in the last few days has shown me how lucky we are to live in this community. Any other community that would have something like this happen would be, get rid of them. Yeah, please get rid of them. But instead, this community came out in full force, saying we want to help. I mean, what other community is like that other than a community like ours, like Wai'anae? And so I feel so lucky to represent and to live in this community because of what's all here. So thank you so much to Buffalo and to Momi for opening your home. Ryan, all you guys are doing, your family, all of you. So thank you so much, and to Mike for being here and Governor Ige.
Funny you should say that. We were just there this morning.
Oh, so you know the parcel?
We took I think it's 4 acres. It's a 5-acre parcel of which we would be able to use 4. The list that's compiling, that's one of them on there. So we're gonna look at that and some other areas and whatever and see which one would be the best fit. So yeah, that's on the list.
And you could help stop illegal dumping and to ideas in the neighborhood.
That was one more concern. Sorry, I'm just dragging this up. No. That was one more concern of a lot of people that was living in the village. When they thought that they were being swept, a lot of them their mind went to the Opaihola. They was like, so who going to take care of this place if not us? You know, because the last time I checked, I think you get like 2 BLNR officers that handle from Fort Shafter to Kaina Point. So, you know, if those 2 all leave, or even if there's, you know, peacefully or not, you know, even if we transition, you know, it might be a good idea to maybe have some people, trusted individuals or whatever, stay back to Malama, that area, unless, you know, unless the state or somebody like put in resources to secure that area, because I'm glad that Twinkle's them is there and they, you know, like they take care of the place, because it could very well be people that don't give up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they could burn them and they could trash the whole thing. So, you know, I think we're very fortunate to have a community, a village there that actually cares about the thing and try to keep it stuff. But, you know, even if they leave, what happens after?
That is right on the community side, why I can always do this too, is as you folks are making the plans for Pu'uhonoua itself, is we don't want to leave that gap for addressing the plan for that for our community space as well. So that's why I think, I'm not trying to butt into their business, but.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is, it's a community concern, it's something that the village has been concerned about, and, you know, everybody too, because, you know, like, the thing to do is dump everybody's cars everywhere, so.
So thank you everybody for coming. Please sign in again if you haven't, and look for our future meetings, especially with this on the agendas, whether it's a regular meeting or another special community meeting we call. And if you have any other questions, you can always take conversations offline, but we will be breaking down the chairs and tables because we need to be out of here in a timely manner for parks. Okay? Thank you everybody. Mahalo.